Hello. So today we are going to talk about market research tools. You might remember when we were talking about defining the ideal customer profile, the main core of our product market fit. We talked about different types of findings, industry reports, and market data about a certain industry, customers' pain points, and overall trends in the market. So, for that particular thing, we also talked about some value proposition statements, how to define them after evaluating the competitor's strengths and weaknesses in competitor analysis. We also talked about customer interactions, where we will be interviewing different customers and interacting with them to extract their pain points, their challenges, the rewards, the benefits they want to avail or what they want to avoid in their businesses. So this is all about our market research. But these are very much primary data collection sources. Now we are going to talk about secondary market research resources. So these are market research tools which may vary from person to person, from one industry to the other, the objective of the research as well as the outcomes of this particular research. So let's have a look at the playbook of market research tools, where we are going to elaborate different types of tools, their expected outcomes, and what we can get out of these tools. Let's have a look on the screen. So the objectives of this market research tool exercise is that you have to use the listed tools to research your target market, your competitors, and industry trends. You can compare your results to the threshold benchmarks provided wherever they are applicable. Then you can also draw actionable insights to help with market positioning, pricing, and sales strategy. So there are certain steps to be followed in this exercise. First of all, you have to choose the most relevant tool for your business. There could be 4 to 6 tools, or there could be 2 to 5 tools. That depends on your objectives and your outcomes. You have to search for your target industry keywords, competitors, or market trends. Once you identify these things, you have to fill in My Findings column with the data from these tools, and then compare your findings to the specific tool-specific threshold values. In the end, you can also write an actionable insight based on your findings. For example, you can say that I will target this keyword because it has low competition. So what will be the outcome of this exercise? That you will be able to calculate the target market size, you can estimate revenue potential in respective markets, and you can also devise your marketing and sales strategy. So over here, you can see a long list of tools available. There could be Google Trends, Answer the Public, Moz, Ahrefs, SEMrush, Ubersuggest, Crunchbase, Angel.co, SimilarWeb, Google Keyword Planner, Alexa, HotSuite Insights, Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, Facebook Audience Insights, Slack and LinkedIn groups, Think with Google, Gartner Research Studies, G2, Forrester, industry literature, and stock market analysis. So against each type of tool, there is a certain category where we have defined for what purpose this tool is famous and useful for. For instance, Google Trends is mostly liked for the research, for the search purpose. Google Trends is usually adopted for searching purpose. Answer the Public searches. Ahrefs, SEO and competitor analysis. SEMrush for SEO and advertising. Ubersuggest for competitor analysis. Crunchbase, again, competitor analysis. Similarly for the Angel.co and SimilarWeb. As far as Google Keyword Planner is concerned, you can talk about it when you are trying to explore demand and trend analysis. Same is the case with Alexa. And if you are talking about something on social media, digital platforms, you can go through Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, and you can just see whichever is the most relevant and appropriate finding for you. Then you can also talk about Facebook Audience Insights and some industry insights. There upcoming trends, previous history, case studies for research purpose through Gartner and G2 or Forrester. So each type of tool gives you a leverage for your selected segments. For instance, there could be B2C markets or B2B markets or both of them. So most of the tools entertain you for both type of audiences. But some of them are highly specialized in providing you the insights of the market in a B2B pattern. And then you can also talk about the matrices to track. For instance, for Google Trends, if you are trying to search volume trend and you are looking for rising trends, so this is better for you to use the Google Trends. And if you are looking for popular customer queries nowadays on which you have to make your value proposition or you have to decide your segment, you can go with Answer the Public tool, and they can get you common pain points in a certain industry according to the customers of that particular segment. Similarly, there are Ahref. This is about keyword difficulty score, and there is a threshold, like if the score is less than 30, then it's easier to rank. So against each tool, you are just talking about their CPC, their high rank, higher engagement, overall growth engagement, demographic and interest analysis, industry trends, market research and insights, and everything. So this is really not necessary for you to apply all of these tools. You can just limit yourself from 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 4 to 6 tools, whatever is the number, the most appropriate, the most relatable according to your needs. So after identifying the relevant tool for you, you can just write some of your findings. For instance, you can talk about in Answer the Public, you found some common pain points that customers in the e-commerce industry are actually having some pain on their delivery side, where their courier services or their vendor partners are not actually performing up to the mark, and they are really lacking from providing you ETAs or the guarantees or the insurance against the damaged parcels or anything like that. So for that, if this platform, Answer the Public, contains such information from the customers who are actually e-commerce vendors or e-commerce players, they are just briefing the entire world that these are their common pain points nowadays. You can find it out, or you can mention it over here as per your findings, that the e-commerce stores who are actually your customers are suffering from certain types of pains nowadays. And from here, an actionable insight over here that I can address this pain point by offering certain types of dashboards from where I will be integrating different APIs, and I will be able to solve this pain point through immediate actions or providing them insurance through my vendor insurance companies, and I can provide them a good compensation against their damaged parcels. And from this thing, I can drive that I can provide such a service to the e-commerce stores through which their own customer satisfaction will likely to increase. More people will come to their platform. They will make frequent buying. This will actually enhance their own revenues. So you can translate from here to the micro level value proposition statement. Similarly, if you talk about SEMrush, the SEO and advertising tool, over here you can see that this is basically for SEO and paid advertising performance. And the threshold is actually to look for high ROI ad campaigns. So over here you can find out that most of the companies who are struggling to make a high ROI, or they are suffering because of lesser or ineffective marketing campaigns, I can provide them such a service which can increase their ROI. But for that, I have to go through the SEMrush analytics and see where actually they are suffering from. Similarly, at Quora, you can come across different people's opinion and their feedback or their reviews about certain things. So you can collect a lot of information about your industry's pain point, actually are talking about those pain points. So by collecting information from here, you can well design your services pattern and your value propositions, and you can reconfirm the same pain points in a one-on-one setting with your ideal customer while interacting with them and after going through your competitor analysis. Similarly, let's talk about Gartner studies. So these are case studies and research insights after a very thorough and comprehensive data collection and analysis. For instance, you are going to launch a new blue ocean strategy in which you are going to be a big differentiator, and you need to see whether this is going to be applicable. Does it have to do anything in the past? If previously such a problem occurred, what type of solutions were there? How successful they were? What were the challenges? How did the solution providers compete with others, or they didn't compete with anyone at all? And how did they conclude with a promising solution to that particular challenge? So Gartner studies give you a very good idea about everything in that particular area. Let me put up an example over here. Nowadays, in Europe side, there is a new cybersecurity law, which is named as NIS2, that is a compliance by the European Union that each SME or large size corporation will have to comply with it. And this is a very complicated and regulatory compliance for the organizations to be followed by. So any company who is entering to facilitate such a service for these SMEs and large corporations within Europe side, they will have to make a very good analysis and thorough study before designing and offering similar services to the companies over there, because it will incur a lot of costs in promotions, awareness, and so many other partnerships. So for that purpose, if you conduct a Gartner study that how many security breaches were held, how did it damage the industry or certain types of organizations, that's how you are going to conclude with real-time pain points and the industry challenges to craft your own value propositions along with the pricing strategy. So this is all about market research tools. You can opt for 1, 2, 3, up to 5, 6, or even 7 tools. That's all up to you. There could be some quantitative ones. There could be some qualitative ones. There could be some data-based matrices which will be giving you exact scenario and situation so that you could verify it in your competitor analysis, in your customer interactions, in order to define your value proposition statements as well as your sales channels and your ideal customer. Thank you so much.